Hey, it's Fort Worth Playboy.
And MyPlayboys Bunny.
And welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships, and...
Sex.
That's right. And today's subject is, you're not hers, it's just her turn. And
I love it.
It's a play on that classic red pill,
mantra.
And I'd almost say probably Rich Cooper probably keyed it because it sounds
He might have. It does.
He repeats it enough that I would say it's his stuff. And his thing is, she's not yours, it's just your turn.
Yeah.
And that's to take the edge off when these girls, monkey branch or they swing to the next guy. It was just your turn. And not to be too overly invested in them over time, which, of course, causes cognitive dissonance for men who are married or, really like a girl and they're trying to deal with that.
Well, and like you say all the time, it is harder for men to wrap their heads around the idea that women that they're interested in are sleeping with other men, slept with other men before, and will sleep with other men after.
Very much so, yeah. And I think it's almost a natural thing because they don't even think about other men. And we know this, we've talked about this in some of the other podcasts about when you're running a rotation, it's just an understanding that she's going to sleep with other guys.
But women are very good at keeping
and I say that. I said it's their number one secret.
Yeah.
Is their ability to have sex with multiple men and the men not know of each other at all.
No, know nothing of one another.
And if you think about it, I don't know if they're conditioned from birth or if it's genetic or if their moms teach them, but you girls will not talk about other men, not even about their dad quite often.
Right.
To men.
I can see that.
They've probably seen enough guys start getting huffy and puffy.
Exactly. It doesn't take much.
No, exactly. They're good at avoiding confrontation. But more on the subject of you're not hers, it's just her turn, is a play on that red pill. And the thing is, it's funny, it just kind of came to me. I don't know. I was thinking about that one phrase because in game, your job is to flip the script.
Yeah. From,
the classic men chase women to girls chase men and you're being chased or pursued.
Yeah.
And that's the deal is you have to carry yourself. We always say don't be beta. Mm-hmm. And what is a beta guy? He doesn't have a lot of options, if any. Mm-hmm. He puts her on a pedestal. He doesn't have a lot of experience with women. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't just get it.
No.
And most alpha men or men who are carrying alpha characteristics, which is game, mimicking it, they have options or they appear and carry themselves to have options.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it. It goes a long way.
It is a very real thing and it works. They have experience or they pretend to have experience
and like you say,
they have experience.
They quickly gain experience
because
they are pretending or putting on the facade of experience.
They have irrational self-confidence and the beta will have little of any self-confidence. But the bottom line is especially with beta men, they'll put women on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. And as an alpha, you have to knock her off that pedestal and quite often climb up there yourself.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself first. And women find selfish and self-centered and self-serving men to be incredibly sexy. Mm-hmm. And that's the deal.
I'm getting wet just thinking about it.
Yeah, especially how selfish I am. And all of these things that we talked to you about, you have to have some keys in your head mentally, especially when you're learning game. You have to have little sayings in your head like, I'm the prize.
Yeah.
Because when you're sitting there and you're kind of in front of a girl and you're getting nervous and, the conversation's not flowing and you have to remember, I'm the prize. She needs to be winning my approval. I'm not looking for her approval.
Perfect.
And it's little stuff like that you have to kind of remind yourself so you can set yourself up for success.
And women can sense that you have the mental fortitude to to be there like that.
Right.
I mean, that even just you going through that in your head goes a long way to us picking up on it.
Yeah.
And being turned on.
Exactly. He's not cratering.
No.
He's not sweating. I mean, you're going to sweat it out, but you don't stop.
Yeah.
Quite often, I mean, the guys that will run like game, they're like, what do you say when you've run out of things to say? And literally, here's the thing: is that, and it's the most strangest. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
As long as you have the right attitude, whatever you're talking about can be interesting.
Sure.
And that's the thing, because she's not going to remember. You ask a girl about her first date with you.
I don't remember anything that we talked about on the first date.
Exactly.
I can remember our movements. I can remember the way I felt.
Yep.
I can remember bouncing locations, but I can remember nothing of what we actually talked about.
Exactly. And that's why you have to have, like my dating system, you have to have a structure, you have your logistics, the way you do things is a certain way, and everything else falls into place.
Yeah.
And then it's replicable. And then you're actually building the numbers.
Yeah.
And this becomes easier. I mean, even in conversation, I had a list. First couple dates I went out with, not you, but when I first started going out, I had a list of questions. I still have that list. You see, I had in my pocket, and I remember going to the restroom.
I could totally see you doing this.
And going to the restroom and going to the stall and like opening it up and going through the list again.
No, trust me when I say I got the well practiced.
Yeah, well-oiled machine.
I like to pretend that all of those dates and all that
completely
practice,
organic,
because it all came together to me having the perfect date.
I had lots
and
of
look at where I
practice
am now.
And it's crazy, but I did. I mean, like, what are you passionate about? Open-ended questions that you can kind of drop, and then she can start talking about herself,
which is girls' favorite topic.
Yeah, you can work off of that. But you're going to need some structure to go along with your mindset.
Yeah.
But you have to start with the mindset. And it's kind of like Chateau says, inner game, which is your self-confidence, the way you see yourself, is you won't succeed with women until you first internalize the belief that you can succeed with women.
Yeah.
And you're destined to succeed with women. Another term for this is abundance mentality. When you start to believe that there's a new woman around every corner excited to meet you, that no woman has a monopoly on specialness, then women themselves will begin to believe that about you too.
That is a fucking awesome line.
And it's the truth. It's you in game. You can fake it till you make it. Because they don't know. You carry yourself like a guy who woke up with two women in your bed. She doesn't know that you didn't wake up with two women in your bed.
Yeah. And
pretty soon, you do this long enough, and with enough conviction, you start waking up with two women in your bed. And it's much easier.
Sure.
But a lot of guys go, how do I get there?
Yeah.
Because you have to literally force yourself to believe this about yourself and carry it out. And in time, you're going to start seeing this in reality. And that's game. Game is learned charisma. Some guys are born with it by genetics or training or default or, their environment.
They saw their dad, their grandfather, an
Generally,
uncle.
that's correct. They've got a player in their family or a buddy took them under their wing.
Yeah.
And took them along, you know. It's like one of my first friends was like 4 or 5 years older than me, and he had a Corvette.
Yeah.
And so he's picking up girls, and I'm like junior high, and he's in high school, and we're cruising, because cruising was a thing in the old days. But that's what I'm watching.
Sure.
I'm not participating because I'm like 13, but you're absorbing it. You know what I mean? So that's the real deal is you have to mentally prepare yourself, have some structure and logistics, and then put yourself into the field in order to have success with this.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, is you have to hold yourself higher than her. Women want a man who is better than them. And whether you are or not, doesn't matter.
And this is tough. This is tough to wrap, I think, a lot of men's heads around, because you're trained women and children first, mothers and children first, that kind of thing. But in this case, in this situation, the mindset, of putting yourself up on that pedestal, it does go a long way in the dating world, in attraction, and really in relationship management too.
Yeah, and just like, and there's little things that you can do in your day-to-day life, and we have another video of like one strange way to increase your confidence, and it's like you stop opening doors.
Yeah.
You stop standing. You stop giving your seat. Well, pregnant and elderly women, but you stop giving your seat up. You step out of the elevators first. You put yourself first.
Yeah.
And quit being so damn polite. And because you put yourself first, because wherever you have to be, it's much more important than wherever she needs to be.
Right.
So you go first. And it's little stuff like that adds up.
Yeah.
And just like Bunny says, you have to build it. One success on another.
Yeah.
You're going to have some setbacks, but in general, you have to be committed to this process. And it doesn't take a lot of time.
Well, and that's why, I wrote that self-confidence book, and then
Exactly.
I just republished it. But it's 25 steps. You could grab any one of the 25 steps at any time to boost your self-confidence one more step. You take all of them, you're infallible.
Bulletproof.
Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like you take one step, then you take another step. Everything builds on the other.
And the link to that book is below.
It is.
By the way.
It is.
And it works. You have to kind of immerse yourself. You have to read. You have to apply it. You listen to this, you're in the top 1%.
That's right.
The fact that you've searched this podcast out and are actually listening to this point puts you in the top 1%.
Absolutely.
Not everybody will do this, which is great.
Yeah.
Less competition for you.
That's right.
And so, again, it's you're not hers, it's just her turn. And it's to her pleasure that you're spending time with her.
Well, and and you will come across girls who truly internalize this and know that they are lucky that it's their turn.
Exactly. And then it builds on itself.
Yeah.
And that's the real deal. This is a somewhat esoteric, or ephemeral type. Normally we give very concrete, hard, step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah.
But mindset stuff is literally mental, and you have to have your mind right to then start setting up the logistics. Because putting out an egg, teasing a girl, and doing these things with low self-confidence and no real belief in yourself,
Yeah.
it will fail miserably.
Yeah.
You have to actually have the inner game at least going in the right direction to make all the other mechanisms, the hard, what would you say? You have software and hardware. To make the hardware work, the software has to be right.
Sure.
And so mentally, you have to be in the right space for a tease, an egg, your confidence to be where it should be.
I can think over my lifetime of kind of softer men, what we would call beta now, attempting to be playful and tease. It comes across as very awkward and almost to the point where you feel sorry for them, but not in a way that would precipitate an actual date. It's very weak, and it's quickly followed by like weird apologies or awkwardness. Like nothing good is about it. So yeah, a lot of self-deprecation, which is never sexy, by the way. I have a real issue with self-deprecation. But confident men, we have one guy in our gym who has more confidence than any listener on this podcast ever blended together, and he is a fucking idiot. But he has confidence, by God.
And he's got a cute little wife.
He's got an adorable little wife, and he flirts with every girl in the gym, and they giggle, and
you're like, what in the world?
And Fort Worth and I know exactly what's going on, and we just look at each other like, Lord, help me.
Yeah. At the end of the his little wife, he talks, she turns and starts staring up at him, and you're like, are you kidding? You know,
She thinks he is a Greek god
yeah,
with
it's
her
a funny,
little
it's the
little
craziest thing.
doe eyes.
He basically holds court.
He does hold
Yeah.
court, but he has this man. There's no way in the world that he was raised with self-confidence.
No.
He has created it in himself, just like you can do.
Exactly. And that's what this podcast is about. You got to get your mind right.
Yeah.
Got to have that inner game right. And then you can start putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it. We want you to win.
And guys, if you like this video, like it, thumbs up button, subscribe. And if you have a comment of like where your mind shift, you know, when that exact moment that your mind kind of like changed, or at a time when your mindset helped you win something over.
Yes.
We want to hear from you.
I love those
We love
kinds
stories.
of stories.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And we want to hear your feedback.
Yeah.
So you guys have a great day.
Bye.